everyone. How is everyone doing today? Awesome, I hope. Heather, how are you?
I'm good. It took me a minute. I had to think about it. It was like, it's kind of like when you're at the grocery store. I mean, back when we used to go to the grocery store, remember those days? It's kind of like that where, you're in the line with strangers and they say, so how are you doing? And you respond with fine. It doesn't matter how you are. You're not going to tell them your story. I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
All right. Hope everybody's got plenty of toilet paper. Glad you're at the show. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, from Phil Boyer, we got Warren Wilson.
Warren.
Welcome
a new member.
Yep.
New member. Yes.
Yep. And Andrew's out there as well. So I just want to make sure we say hello before
we introduce our guest,
our very good friend.
Don't say
long
old.
Time. I didn't say old. Did I say old? Did I? Because I was trying
almost. No,
she
listen.
Ain't old.
Hey,
she ain't old, but we've been around together for a while, right? We've known her a long time. Yeah.
That's right. All right. Without further ado, Susan Finch, say hello to everyone.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you.
Yay. So glad.
I love it when we have Google Plus friends on, because it's like that's where it all began for me.
Yes.
Where we all honed our skills.
That's true. There's a history there, but for sure, no doubt. Yes.
I make money today because of that time.
Yes, I was so glad when you reached out to me last week or whatever, and I was like, "Oh my God, I got to get you on." So, I'm so glad you said yes, because not everybody does that. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is going to be awesome because I really don't know a lot about this. I know we were talking about this in the green room a little bit beforehand that I have one podcast software that I won't listen to only because I don't know why. So hopefully we're going to learn a little bit about that. I can't wait. I'm excited. And this is what you do now, correct? I mean,
this is
give us a little history.
Half of what So I either am producing podcasts or I'm teaching people how to do podcasting.
Nice.
So awesome. Some people have me set them up 100% and keep doing it. And others say, okay, got it from here. Can you just check in once in a while? And okay. So that's
so that's awesome. So you actually help manage it or whatever that process is. Oh, that's so cool. Yes. Excellent.
Yeah. Start to finish.
Give us a thumbs up, folks. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up. We'd love it. Anyway. So yes, let's get right into it. You ready to dive in?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Do I need to say anything else, or do you want to add anything else or something, or anything?
No,
anybody?
Can I just say hello to an audience member? Can I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Marion who's joined us. Hello, Marion. And
hey, Marion.
Andrew, who's part of that old crowd, says not old. We're all just well acquainted. I love that. Haven't seen Susan on in a while when she was on TV. Remember those days?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was when she burned out because she was so much fun to do those shows. I still look at those shows and laugh.
Yeah, they were laugh riots. That's for sure. Nuts. Afternoon. Hey there, Susan. Good to see you from Sheila.
Thanks, Sheila. Hey, cool to see all of you guys. Very nice. Thanks for coming in.
It's old home week. All right, hit it.
I'm going to screen share your screen so you can start talking about it. So let's get right at it.
Okay. Well, folks, if you're wondering where I've been lately, this is a big bunch of my time every week. I am the Vice President of Operations and Senior Producer for the Funnel Media Group, as well as the Funnel Radio channel. And these are all the hosts that are in our lineup every month. And we rotate between about 8 or 9 shows, including my own at the end that isn't nearly as frequent as it should be, rooted in revenue. I'm way behind. And we have shows from a lot of business-to-business companies, from sales professionals to sales trainers, marketing professionals. We also have the University of West Virginia. And what I help them do is produce their podcast. So they find their guests. They sometimes record their own. Sometimes we record it for them. We stream it. You can see in that lower corner, we stream Thursdays live. So from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific, you can hear our shows just running one after the other every 25 minutes. And it's a lot of fun. These folks are great. I've learned so much. I've met the most interesting people through this process. And so for those of you that aren't super familiar with podcasting is primarily audio. People do video podcasting, yeah. But all the apps that we carry around with us on our little personal computers,
Yes.
Powerful computers that have all the apps. One of my favorites is the iHeartRadio app, which has come into a huge presence in the podcasting world. And all these venues let you submit your podcast for free.
Nice.
Which is nice. So all of my shows, after they are on I want them to have at least 5 in their back pocket before I push them out there, because you only get one chance to be new. So we push them out to Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Blueberry, TuneIn FM. There are about 12 of them.
Oh, cool. Let me ask you a quick question. Time out real quick. So are all of those free?
Yep.
The ones you're talking about? So just you can send your podcast out to any one of those that is free.
I send them out to all of them.
How do they, okay, now this may be an ignorant question. How do they make money then?
They make money off of advertisers, sponsors, selling ads within their app and things like that.
Okay.
And also for their upsell that have no commercials, that let you skip, that let you save, that let you download, because they don't only have podcasts, but they also have music.
Okay. So they want you on there so their advertisers can reach out to those people, et cetera, and that kind of thing. Okay. That's cool.
So what we're doing by, the podcasters are all submitting content that's free to everybody. So that makes it easy for them because they don't have to go get that content, pay for it or anything else. We're doing all the work.
Makes sense.
And so if any of you are familiar with the term RSS feed, an RSS feed is a text file that's dynamically generated on your blog. It's generated on a YouTube playlist, on a YouTube channel. It's there. It's dynamic. And so that little piece of that file, that little text file is magic. And that's what gets submitted everywhere. And that's what drives all of this, is that dynamic file.
That is awesome. I mean, that's just crazy to me, but that's awesome. So I you know what? I personally never knew that. I didn't know that you could podcast out for free.
Right. And you can record, like our folks on Funnel Radio. Let's switch back over there.
Sure.
They all like these guys. I edit their shows, the market dominance guys. They are amazing, so smart, especially Chris Beal, but they're really smart. And Daryl, he pre-records. Sean Broderick pre-records from Ireland. Patrick Morrissey is here in the States. West Virginia University does all theirs live. And so once their show is done, we edit it. We make sure their commercial is in there, that their intro, their outro, and so it's a nice little package. We get rid of their ums and their ahs and the dog barking and things.
Right.
So that's what your business is doing, is taking care of the podcast as a package. Is that what you're doing?
Yes. So let me show you. I'll just show you my own really quick.
I'm going to pop this up while you're doing that. Spotify is spending millions on podcasts. That's from Phil Boyer. Wayne Nix asked RSV file?
RSS.
RSS. Okay. Yeah. RSV, I think, is the video end of it, right?
Right. But even an RSS file still takes video too.
I know. That's why I never understood why there's
file. And so in this case, I recorded this with Melissa Agnes. She is a crisis readiness expert. She's amazing. She's so smart and very much in demand right now, I got to tell you. And holy cow. So once she was recorded, I create a piece of art for this and for it to show up on iTunes, a little square graphic as well. And you don't see that piece, but it goes in the feed. Her title goes there, the link to the post, and that's the player. And the player, I just upload the MP3 file and there we go. And we have a little package and I write them up and you can share it out. That's basically what I do all the time for all of the folks that we saw over here.
Wow. That's
awesome.
Pretty cool.
Awesome. That is just awesome.
Now, what if somebody wanted to get into podcasting? Where would you suggest they start? I mean,
I'll show you where to
like
start.
Yourself, or just pick up a microphone and start yakking?
Right here.
Okay. All right. Because
before you get started, you need to know some things. Because if you just, everybody can just dive into a podcast. And you know how much clutter there is of crappy podcasts? And
I do. This is why this is so interesting, because I have recently looked into this and went, I don't want to go swimming.
No.
So.
And that's, I find they talk about how many millions of podcasts there are out there. How many of them, though, have posted in the last 5 months?
Yeah.
There are going to be a ton of them that have been abandoned that are still out there cluttering things up with old information. It's like old websites.
Yeah.
Because it's free to submit, and none of these venues have made it easy to remove it.
Interesting.
So I want to do the honorable thing. And when a show says we can't do it anymore, it's not in the budget or whatever, I want to go back and say, okay, Apple, this is gone. iHeart, this is gone. Now iHeart will remove it because I talk to physical people there. But Apple and all the others are more automated, or they don't make it easy to reach them. So there's no way to do the kind, responsible thing and say, hey, remove this show. It's done.
Maybe because they see it as content and they don't see
exactly
a reason to get rid of it.
So it's just clutter.
Okay.
And to me, you should have the right to do that.
All right. So where do we get started? Show us that.
So over here, this is a course that I teach, actually. The Direct Marketing Association of Northern California have seen me do enough podcasts and talk about them and teach classes that they said, hey, will you please do a class for us? And so I teach a 2-hour class there every quarter on how to get started. And it shows you everything. I go through all the thinking before you turn on the mic, before you get the site, before you think of the show name, the things you need to know ahead of time. Like, what is the real goal of your podcast? Is it just to hear yourself talk?
Right. There's
and if
a
that's
lot
the truth,
of those.
But that's okay if that's what it is, but you need to know that. So that means you probably don't have any aspirations to be popular. You just want to, I just feel like making something. Okay, good for you. But if it is to open doors to, I get some nice reviews too. If it's to open doors to prospects, to build your reputation, to get you invited as a speaker somewhere else, you need to know all that too. Is it to placate the egos of the people you work with?
Okay.
You need to answer. There are a whole bunch of questions that I ask at the beginning of this that only you guys can answer, and there's no wrong answer. But until you know that, you don't know what the next step is. So then once you know, it's like, okay, well, who's that audience? Where do they hang out? Where do they listen to podcasts? Are they binge listeners? Do they listen at the gym when they're driving there? Do they listen at work? And that's all the kind of stuff you need to know before you start planning. So that's what this course.
Where is this link at?
This
Susan, I want to be able to.
I'll put that in the
access that.
Okay, well, I'm going to put it. I for some reason I can't put a chat in here, so
no chat doesn't.
I'm going to put it in the private one, and you share it with the group.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and put it in our community for everybody who's watching. If you're a community member, you're going to have an access to this link right now.
Awesome.
It's a fun class, and what's so funny is I had a few people from Warner Brothers take this recently, and they loved it so much. They said, "Can you please do a lunch and learn with us?" So I was all set to fly down there and everything, and then my plans changed in the last week. So we ended up doing it online, and we had a blast. We spent half a day together. They took this class, and then they came back and they wanted to take my advanced course. And the advanced course actually goes over templates and how to produce things and record things and write scripts and all that. It's a total workshop. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, they seem to be getting a great reception. And Michael, you and I are going to be doing a new show, a new lesson, I should say, in April. I proposed this idea to them, and he and I are going to co-teach this one, keeping virtual attendees engaged. We're going to be reimagining how conferences are done and what we need to do.
Looking forward to that one. That's going to be fun. It will be
fun. Yeah. So, you were asking me, you said, what is the biggest thing about podcasting? That's the answer right there. It's in the story. If you want to be interesting and you want to get shared and you want people to talk about you and engage and become your super fan, entertain them, give them a story, teach them something. Yeah. But tell them stories. I'm always telling stories, and my kids say you shouldn't tell people that story, but I tell people stories all the time, and sometimes they're quite embarrassing for myself. But I don't care because people can relate to them, or they don't feel like such idiots themselves because I'm a bigger idiot.
Yeah, because it's human. I mean, that human element is important in that, and I think that those are the podcasts to me that are more attractive than just a one-on-one, somebody sitting there doing an interview. I can't stand that. It just drives me crazy. But when you have the personable part where you're actually getting to the human element of it, that's so appealing to me.
Speaking of the human element, I'm gonna bring up some hellos.
Hey,
Eileen Smith is joining us, and we have Andrew, congratulations! Congratulations on the new.
We go back to Andrew's comment about the flatter me one.
I was going to end there. So we got Chris here as well, and And yeah, that's where I was going to end.
So Andrew,
my podcast is to flatter me because no one else will.
Andrew, why I love that comment so much is people talk about, oh, your family never gossips. Your cousins and stuff don't really gossip. I said, why would we gossip when we can talk about ourselves?
That's right.
Because that would take away the attention from one of us. So we all fight over who can outdo themselves with, some other weird story or embarrassing story, because we don't care, because I have the mic and the stage in my family, and that makes it fun.
So when you do your personal podcast that you do, I mean, do you still do podcasts?
I do, and I don't do them as often as I should. That's the other thing about podcasts. It's that regularity, staying, if I'm going to do it monthly, I'm going to do it monthly. If I'm going to do it weekly, do it weekly.
Yeah,
and
I got you.
Somehow fill that content or don't commit to that. And mine, I don't do nearly enough, but I will say when I do, and it's what I try and teach all my folks too, is make your guest shine.
Gotcha. Yes, that makes sense.
If your guest looks good, they're going to share it out.
That's true.
And they're going to be your fan and your advocate and stand by you. And that's the kind thing to do. You are inviting them into basically your home.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Great note from Eileen saying, great to hear you're involved with podcasting. And then here's a message from a viewer, Professor of Perseverance. This is a nice story here. I'm a wheelchair bound, paralyzed from playing football, now spread positive motivational content. Do you do that in podcasts, or would you like to?
I think he is.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Professor, I guess you're already doing that, which is cool.
Here's somebody else we all know. So glad to see the bearded one has arrived.
The bearded one.
Long time no see, exactly. It's Old Home Week here at Tinkering with Tech. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, Professor, what I'm wondering is if you are currently doing a podcast, and I'm guessing then you would be inviting other people to tell their story, so it isn't just all about you. I'm just 100% feeling like that you are lifting others up. So let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I want to hear more about it.
And put the link in there too, because we would like to check you out.
Just a quick thing, because I always like to do this every show. Tell everybody where you are from.
I'm from Southern California. I lived there for 40 years.
Okay.
And when my son was born and my mom died and I no longer had to stay there,
right?
Tom and I wanted a way to be able to raise our kids and not have to work for our house.
I got you.
And so we checked out a lot of pieces, and believe it or not, we ended up in Oregon because of the weather.
Wow, that's crazy.
The hot sun, smog, and crowds just doing it for me anymore.
So you're in Oregon now. So you're in Oregon.
I miss my family. I miss the beach, but we've been here since 2005.
Nice. Wow. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to put up the question for everybody out there. Anybody in the comments, tell us where you're from. We're interested. I like to do this. I've been trying to do this in the last couple of shows, just find out where people are from. So let us know where you're from. So put in the city, state, country, whatever, put it out there and let us know.
Richard, I was born and raised in La Palma. And then Tom and I spent, 10 years or 6 years in Laguna Beach. So we lived there for several years and before moving up here.
So Professor says,
so the professor was saying correct. And then Richard said, okay, we're in Oregon. I lived in
you're in Grants Pass. Oh, that's down by Laney. Laney's down there.
Yeah, he's in California now, but he used to live there.
Okay. That's right.
So then we have.
You're in Monrovia. My cousin had a house on Monrovia until just recently. My auntie still lives in El Monte.
Houston, Texas, Longview, Texas. Oh, Monrovia, California. There you go. Victoria, British Columbia, Canada.
All right.
Professor, you brought up a really good point. So we all love video. And especially in these times, this is how the closest we can connect a lot of times. Here, I can touch you. Ooh, touch you. Ooh, my hand. That's about the best I can do at the moment. So that's what I'm doing for a client in Colorado. She's a mortgage broker and an investment advisor and stuff. And she does video snippets. She does like one a day or two a day. She pings me. I go grab it. I actually get an alert from ifttt.com. And I say, hey, if you post here, send me a text.
Oh, that's cool.
So when it gets there, I download it, extract it, put it into her little template that I've made for her alerts or for her shows. We have 2 different templates, and we upload that then to her podcast site. So I just extract the audio from everything.
That's just awesome. That's so cool. Okay. Now with all of this stuff, there's so much media and all these different kinds of, there's blogs, there's all kind, and like you kind of mentioned kind of vlogs and all that kind of stuff. How difficult, without giving all your secrets away or details or anything like that, how difficult is it to take this audio file and push that out to a podcast? I mean, are you talking like days to get that done? Are you talking about minutes? Are you talking about hours? Or just give us kind of a rough idea if you could.
Because the three of us speak pretty cleanly without a lot of ums and ahs and without a lot of pauses, it's a quick extract. So let's assume we always had this package with your intro music, no video, so you want it fast. And then we have our audio file and then our outro. So I have a template all ready to go in Adobe Audition. I pop in the video, extract out the visual part, leave the audio, make sure the music layers just a little bit with maybe even an intro. I might even say, hey, welcome to another edition of, and then you show up, you talk, you're done. At the end, don't forget to subscribe on all your favorite podcast venues. Little outro out there, the music, we're done. So for a 40-minute show, it'd probably take us a couple of hours to get it done just because it takes a while to render.
That's awesome.
And upload and you're done. Now, if you really want to get tricky, I also a lot of times will get the transcripts ordered. Because the transcripts are kind of like writing your blog post for you, full of all that SEO goodness.
Wow. Interesting.
You post that up with the piece. You can post it as an attachment. You can use it to pull out your little extracts like, oh, that was a great point. I couldn't remember what exactly they said, but there it is. I don't have to listen and type. It takes forever.
Right, exactly.
I would rather spend $1.10 a minute to have an accurate transcript than to have it go through. There are a lot of cheap ones out there, or free, and it looks like it too. And it makes no sense when you get it. It's like Spanglish. It's terrible. And you don't know really what anybody's saying. It's just this mix of everything. It's like, some people could understand it. Like my family would be able to understand Spanglish spoken very rapidly, but a lot of people couldn't.
Right.
So if you don't know the lingo and you're not understanding, which clearly the AI program doesn't, it's like, what the heck was that supposed to be?
Yeah.
So I pay the extra and get a more expensive one, especially on an important show that I want somebody to share out, because I'll send that to my guest with the graphics, the link, the embed code, the transcript, hoping that they'll use it and share it out.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, especially, no, I mean, so that's not bad at all, really. I mean, that's really not that bad at all. I mean, I thought
you to type that. How much is your time worth?
Right, exactly.
Go back and type something verbatim.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Plus, with my Southern accent, I don't know if it'll come out right. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I mean,
I bet.
And the nice thing is when I use rev.com, I put in what the accents are.
Oh,
and they count for that, and they have people that specialize in those accents.
Wow, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that great.
Helps. Yeah.
So okay. So if someone were to do this or take your class and learn this and do this themselves, how long would it take? And I'm not talking about extract. I'm just take whatever they get and put that out there themselves. How much time would that take for them, do you think?
I don't know how dumb they are or smart. I'm sorry. I don't know how skilled they are and how quick a learner they are.
That's a fair answer. That's a fair answer.
I've watched some that'll never catch on and just give it up. Say, here, you take the keys and I'll write the check. Okay. Heather, you're muted.
I don't know why.
I knew I was muted. I did that on purpose just to get your attention. I was just going to say, how about this for a question? Any advice from getting people to join a show when a newbie? That's from Wayne Nix, one of our community
Wayne, let's clarify then. Wayne, are you saying when you have a new podcast and you are trying to get an audience, or that you want people to become part of your podcast? I'm not clarify that a little bit, please.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll figure that out. Let's see. Oh, Andrew, you love Laguna Beach. It is one of my favorite places. That's my happy place.
Richard, the chat. How about which podcast hosting service do you use?
Great question, Eileen. There are so many out there, from Libsyn to Blueberry to all of those. I actually like Podbean, and the reason is because it's more a blog format. I have more control over what it looks like. The banner at the top, the sidebar, I can add widgets, I can add subscription forms. find us on all the venues. I like to have a post in there that's a little more information. So I've been using Podbean for like 10 years. And let me switch back over here really quick.
Sure. No problem.
So this is what Podbean looks like. So let's go to Libsyn really quick. I just want to show you. Let's see if we can find somebody out there. Let's see. I just want to search.
Trying to do it off the cuff. That always works great.
It is. It's always so much fun for everybody to watch me, scroll through things. Libsyn podcast. Okay, let's see. Listen to a show, blah, blah. Never mind. It's boring. When you go on their site, it's just boring. It just has a little tiny graphic, like a little tiny square version, and then a headline, and that's about it.
Oh,
so it's super boring to me, and I would rather have something that I can control. So this whole right column over here, I can control.
And I was just going to ask you if Podbean is an app you can get on your phone, so it's really simple to use, and I see that it is there.
It definitely is.
Cool. So Wayne answered your question. He says, yes, both a guest, and then he says, getting guests to join, so it's not just a dude talking to a camera.
Okay, getting a guest, that's up to you and your relationships you make with people and what is in it for them. So that's what gets people, they want to know that you're not going to be hacked, that you will make them look good and that their time is going to be worth it. So you need to show that and be concise and show you have your act together. So when you invite,
I will say too, as someone who has been a guest on shows in the past, I have walked away from many of those shows feeling like it was a complete waste of my time or almost violated. Do you know what I mean, Susan?
Yeah. No, I do. And that's the other thing. When you're inviting a guest, I've taught people, this in that class, you're not obligated to have them on your show just because you talk to them about being on your podcast. Tell them you want to discuss a topic with them. Let's have a video chat. Let's talk on the phone. See what they're like. See how they speak, if they are monotone, if they're boring, if they're aggressive, if they're just so annoying, and they'd only be better in writing. So interview them in writing. Save the podcast for somebody that can get your audience going. And you also want to make sure there are people that are actually active on social. I've had more people say, oh, I'd be a great guest on your podcast. And they haven't done anything in 3 years on there. Is it really?
Yeah.
I like this. Andrew says, hold an audition. So Eileen says Podbean is one of her favorites.
You actually have to, because you don't want to invest the time in putting it together, editing it, promoting it, etc., getting the transcript and all that if it's going to be a crap show.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So Eileen says Podbean is one of her favorites, and then I love this. She talks about it in her YouTube videos, and I need to go check those out. So
they do have live streaming, and it is super cool. I'm already doing a streaming thing, and most of my people record. So the nice, streaming, I was trying to trick them. Remember how we used to do on Hangouts where you could play a video and it looked like it was live, but it wasn't?
Yeah.
You could answer the comments. You can't do that there. But there is a service called Stream Guys. Now, Stream Guys is kind of cool, and it's paid. But with Stream Guys, you can... Sometimes I make a whole loop of all the shows for a day. So 9 shows. And you upload that, and it will stream over and over and over until you upload a new file.
Oh, wow.
So if I had a 4-hour program, wherever people pop in is where it's playing, just like terrestrial radio. Wherever you jump in, that's where it's going. And if you just have that looping over and over until you put the next one up, yeah,
that's cool.
So that's another option too. There's so many, variations that are coming up. But the Podbean one, Eileen, for me, I haven't seen a benefit yet to doing that, just because we record and truly promote each show separately. And, with all those shows. And then I do another 5 for other clients and companies outside of the Funnel Radio Group. So I do things that are internal podcasts, like for Siemens, and stuff for Quest Diagnostics, who they're very busy right now.
Yes, exactly.
Drug testing people are super busy. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I got it. Hold on. Remember my boo-boo earlier?
Yes.
I didn't realize it was running down my leg. I'm all bloodied up.
Well, you have to stop.
So for those of you that don't know, I have a big Labrador, and he got neutered yesterday. So he's wearing the cone of shame. He's a puppy, and he had to go to the bathroom. And the boys were next door, were outside, and it makes them bark like nuts. And so I put him on the flexi leash, And normally I walk out with him very controlled, but he was so excited. I said, "Oh, go!" And he went running. I'm on the deck, and I flew.
And this was just before the show?
Yes.
And I almost cleared the deck in the concrete. But I didn't. I hit the concrete just enough that my whole knee is full of Band-Aids, and
Oh Lord,
my has a boo-boo, and my hand has a boo-boo, and so I just realized my leg was a little
And the
cold.
show must go on. And the show must go on.
My leg was a little cold, and I thought, "What is? Oh, it's blood."
Oh man.
The storytelling. Here we go. Storytelling part. We need to put this on a podcast. Let's get this out. That's
All
cool
right,
too,
Phil.
though. Being able to do that kind of stuff too is taking video or your YouTube or a live show like this and then cast it afterward. Take that audio and send that out too. That's
Exactly.
Cool.
The thing you just have to make sure is that it will translate well without visual to go with it.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Here's a demo. We're showing this, and nobody can see anything. It's like, oh,
so I have one client, and so they had a video, and they were showing it to their staff of a sliding door and how it worked. So we made it into a podcast, and here's it's like, oh man,
sounds like it needs oiled.
It was really fun.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
So that was one of our funnier ones.
Go ahead. You said Phil had something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no,
No, good, Phil.
Don't apologize. I was
We
waiting.
used Castbox Livecast when it came out. Just build an audience, but it was buggy. Yeah. And live is a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure. I have to say that the thing that I like with the recording is it allows us to pick out,
I mean, it's an eraser.
Minutes we're going to leave in, but sometimes stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
And like with Zoom, I record a lot of things in Zoom. I like getting separate audio tracks because sometimes one person sounds great and the other person coughs or whatever, and you want to be able to take that out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if listeners, we know this from video, they'll forgive glitchy video, but audio is annoying and you're done.
Exactly. Yep, I 100% agree. That's one of the reasons why.
Unless you're an artist, and then it's only visual that matters, and they could give a rip about what you're saying.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to put you on my podcast to paint because that's.
So I'm painting a lovely image right now. Everyone, just close your eyes and imagine
long
with me.
Strokes.
Imagine with me a color of red, because there's only one color red in all the planet.
You know, what's interesting, what picture they paint in their mind, and then you show them the picture afterward to see if they came up with the same thing.
That's a new podcast. I am doing it right now. I am so let me write that down. Let me write that down. Podcast idea. Guess my painting.
Visual, yeah. Listen to my
we already have a painting of your dog making you fly. I already have a painting of that. Now I want to see the video.
Right.
I really wish I'd had a video because it would have been viral. I could have put commercials in there and ads and scratched it out, showing him when he's happy without the cone. And
all right, I know I showed this, but Eileen said get the ice packs. I mean, since you're talking about it again.
I did the Motrin, and I'll get the vodka out later.
This is when we did the live show. Our dogs bark a lot, so to work around that, we built a drinking game out of it. No, I cannot believe that the Boyers built a drinking game out of it.
I don't believe you.
So I ended up having to, when I do a serious show, like when I teach the 2-hour class. Yep. Dogs go in a kennel. Bird goes in the bathroom.
Oh, I remember the bird. I remember the bird making noises during stuff.
Yeah, he's back there.
So yeah, everybody has to be locked up, and there's a note on the door saying, "Please don't ring," because I don't need Amazon making the dogs go off wherever they are. So everybody gets locked up, and that's just how it is.
I think that's a big reason why Michael and I are kind of the way we are about this show. We started that way, where we were like, let's be as professional and as during a live stream. I mean, for a live video stream the whole time, let's try to do this as best we can. Of course, I say professional and I wore a pink wig. But anyway, my point is that, the idea was to be as polished as we could live. And we found that it wasn't fun.
It's not you. Yeah, you burn out on that.
Yeah. And so like when we were saying in the green room, it's like, you know what, this is how we do it. Sometimes I might be picking things out of my teeth or, whatever.
It's true. It's true. But see, that's more appealing though. That's more appealing.
Yeah. It's always more appealing when I'm picking stuff out of my teeth. You're right, Michael. I agree.
Well, I mean, think about it. I'm doing those classes and they're 2 hours long.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has an outline and there's a PowerPoint and there are words on the PowerPoint. It's like, I'm not giving you all those words. For one thing, I'm not going to read it to you because that's stupid. I'm not going to give you all the words either because that's stupid.
It's true.
But what I'll do is I interject with stories, whatever happens to be going on. That dog story will probably make it into the next class. Who knows? But those are the types of things, the unexpected stories.
Yep.
I mean, Warner Brothers learned way too much about my dating life when I was single.
Well, then they're going to make a movie about it now. So no,
I like this statement from Phil. If it's not fun, it doesn't happen. And I think that's pretty much our mantra around here. Don't you think?
Yeah. It has to be enjoyable because it comes through too in your voices. And on a podcast, you can tell, we can all tell when people are smiling on the phone when they're not.
Yeah.
For sure.
On the mic, you can tell when they're smiling, when they're distracted.
Yeah, exactly.
I've edited hosts and you can tell they were checking their phone and everything while their guest is talking because they're not even tracking anything.
Right.
And it shows. And that's not cool. And the only reason why I try and outline these things, my shows and things is I want my guest comfortable. And I don't want to blindside them with something that they wish they had had some time to prepare for because they're super smart about that topic.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is that line between entertaining and spontaneous, but there's a flow to it because it makes people comfortable to know what to expect.
Yeah, that's right.
Show. So as much as all you guys say, oh yeah, I'm just got my friends come in and we're going to do this show and blah, blah, blah. That's fine. You two know each other really well. And the three of us we could do any topic. Somebody could throw a topic at us and we could do a show on it. And we know that.
Exactly.
But there's a camaraderie there that allows that to happen is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like old, when you have the radio shows, the terrestrial radio shows with the morning drive gang and stuff, they've worked together for a long time, which I have to say today, I am lamenting. This is March 18th, that Bean of Kevin and Bean on KROQ has been let go after 30 years. And I am sad.
Wow.
It was one of my shows. Wow. So that's down in LA, but love the show. And I didn't know one of the other DJs, Richard Blade, posted it on Facebook. I'm like, oh no, not Bean, not Kevin and Bean. What's Kevin going to do? But there were those, that flow though of making people feel confident, good, welcome, and relaxed.
Mm-hmm. And that I think goes beyond your guest too. It's also your audience. Yep. You want them to feel like they're comfortable listening to someone talking. I mean, you don't want them to feel like, I don't know why I'm even listening to this right now.
Well, especially if in some shows I've heard them too, and it's so filled with nothing but inside jokes and chatter.
That is difficult.
No sense, and that's rude.
Exactly. Yeah. It is. It makes you feel like an outsider, like you don't really belong here,
and you can't catch up.
Right.
And so make them feel that you are giving them something of value, whether it's a joke, an entertaining story, a lesson, a tip.
100%.
Give them something. What do we call it? Edutainment.
Oh wow, that's a throwback word, isn't it?
But it still is valid.
Yeah.
And it makes you shareable and it builds your audience.
That's why I love doing this, because we can bring comments and involve them, and it's all part, and it's recorded. It's recorded where you see that, where a lot of people just have the streaming whatever, that doesn't really single them out. People want to be, yeah, exactly. They may come to your show, watch you, but never left a comment or something like that, and that kind of thing. At least they can see the conversation going on and become part of the conversation. And like you said, you give us a topic, we're going to talk about it. And that's what makes it funny. It brings up a story or this and that kind of thing.
Yes.
That's the engagement is so, I mean, I've told Heather that. I said, Heather, if we do this, we're going to involve everybody, because I can sit here, we can sit here and just do this in our own little meeting. Right. If we wanted to, but involving everybody else, I think that's what's important. I think that's where podcasts, it gives us that opportunity. One thing that's interesting about podcasts, and that's why I loved having you on today, because it kind of opened my eyes a little bit. They can listen. Let's say they're in an environment, or they're walking, or they're doing this. They don't have to sit there with a video turned on. They can listen
from home, for example. Where you're
exactly.
Doing a lot of stuff that you aren't used to anymore.
Yeah, or cooking, but you wanted to listen to something, or doing whatever. And you can do that. So where the podcast comes in, where the video maybe doesn't, fit in for that particular situation.
I'd like to ask the audience, do they have it? as an audience, do you listen to podcasts? And if you
Which
have a
one?
favorite, I would love to hear which one it is. Which one is your favorite?
Yeah. Which is your
I would
favorite
love
podcast?
to, I mean, I think that would be great. Only
I
pick one
find
though.
out the strangest ones. What?
Yeah, only pick one podcast as your
Yeah,
favorite.
just one. I don't need a whole list because I can't get to them all.
Oh, look
Check
at there.
it out,
Look at
Jewel.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank
That
you
was very
so
sweet
much,
of you.
Jim.
Nice.
Michael's hitting all the wrong buttons today,
I
so
know.
it's typical
I
show.
know.
That's awesome.
I know. That's awesome. Thank you, Jim.
Oh,
Appreciate
here we
it.
go. This one's from Phil. He says, "Welcome to Night Vale."
Okay.
That's his favorite podcast. Joe Rogan.
And if you guys are putting the names to, put why.
Yeah, why
yeah, that's
and
a good
where.
idea.
I would also like to know where you
Yeah.
listen to it.
Yeah. Where do you listen to it?
There's another thing that this kind of ties to that. We can all ask for our friends, our team, or whatever is to share out our podcast. Oh, help me out, share out my episodes, blah, blah, blah. But until everybody puts a behind the scenes why,
Mm.
it means nothing. It's a copy paste obligatory link that means nothing. So when you guys are sharing stuff out, be thoughtful on why, because otherwise I'm guessing.
Great
So
point.
if we were to say, ask the audience right now to share this video, where they're watching it from right now, don't just click the share button, but actually say,
put a few words.
Why? Yeah. Tell your
Interesting.
audience why you're watching or why you think they should watch.
Wow, that's awesome. I never really thought about that. Never thought
And it
about that.
respects their time that they're looking and considering. They don't have to think about it as much, actually, if you give them that more information, because we read very quickly. So suddenly,
Right.
oh, because there's this one, well, I don't relate to that. Oh, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Right.
Don't waste my
Very
time
good.
guessing, because chances are I won't even go there.
Very good. Okay, so Wayne Nix had said Joe Rogan, and this is Rogan, sorry, and this is his reason. He thinks like I do. Now there's a relatable comment, right?
Yeah.
When you find your tribe, as they say, or you find people to connect to, like-mindedness, etc.
Jim, Paula Poundstone, nobody listens. You don't need to say anymore. Paula Poundstone, nobody listens.
There you go.
We know enough about that show.
Let's see. I'm listening to more, and so far I listened to Eileen. I listen because I can tease her later. Eileen says, I listen with the Overcast app. I would like to know more about that.
Eileen, aren't you a member of the She Podcast group on Facebook? I think you are. I'm not positive. That group is huge and way too active for me. I had to turn off notifications because they will blow up my phone.
I love this. Asking Jim if that's the $5 that you gave to him on his show. I love it. Eileen says, one of my favorites is called She Podcasts. Interesting. Yep. Kate listens to way more podcasts than I do. I prefer making them. Nice. And Marianne, is it Marianne? I hope I'm saying it right. Marian, okay. I listen to many podcasts. Favorite is Law of Attraction Radio Network. There are 2 shows on their network I love. Jules' show, The Best, and she has great guests on and is very personal.
Very cool. So anything
Marian.
Oh, okay.
Says, no, it's not Marianne. It's Marian, right? Probably. I
don't know.
I think that's what she's saying.
1 for Marianne, 2 for Marian.
I think it's 2. I think it's 2. See, right here. I told you. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So Jim said, "Yep, it's like the Christmas fruitcake. That $5 bills just flighting back."
That's my nickname. Christmas fruitcake. No.
2. Told you. Awesome. Okay. I'll still mess it up, just so you know. I apologize.
Let's start to wrap this up because I want to give my community, our paid for community, 15 minutes to chat with you afterward. Okay. Anybody that's a paid member. So I know this is my magic spell.
Everybody doing this means wrap it up. Okay,
wrap it up. So give me some last thoughts or whatever. And there you go. Here we go. You're going to get some more here.
Listen before you produce. Just because you want to do a podcast, go and listen to some that are in the vein of what you might want to do to determine format, get ideas, get inspired, pull what you don't like, and decide, never want to do that. And then seriously think about the purpose. Why are you doing it? How much time can you invest? Are you doing this 100% by yourself, or can you get people to help you? And if so, are they committed to doing those tasks? And if the answers are no's in there, don't bother. Just keep listening to them.
Great.
That's
That is awesome. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. I love it. What a
That's
great
great
recap.
advice. Yeah, I love it.
It is. It
Great.
really is. Because if you, I mean, I like that with anything. If you cannot commit,
I was just gonna
don't
say it's
do it.
relatable to more than just a podcast. I mean, figure
It
out your
is.
why of why you're gonna do anything. Why are
Yep.
you why
Yep.
are you doing video? Why are you doing podcasts? Why are you writing a blog? Why
Yep.
are you even using social media?
Yeah,
All right,
no, it's
I'll
fun.
let it go.
Like,
I'll let it
and you know, my thing is too is I went into this when I started doing this. I said I'm going to do a tech show on Wednesdays, and it's been consistent. I've done a show on Wednesdays consistently for a very long time. I've missed a few. Friday, my game show that I do a live game show on Fridays. I don't make that every time, but you know what? That's fine. It's fun. It's just us having a great time and doing that kind of thing. If I miss because of personal, whatever, or baseball or whatever else I'm doing, then I miss it. I don't, you know, everybody comes and they're like, oh my gosh, I wish the game show was on. It's fun to hear that, but it's not as much as like this, like you said, give that commitment, be there, give them something and give some feedback. So it's a lot there.
This is my
Yeah.
favorite way to end this, I
I
think, right
love
here,
that.
Eileen.
I
Says,
love
yes, great tip. Listen
Yeah.
before you get on the mic.
Yep.
There you go.
Like drop it right there, like boom.
That's true. Drop the mic. Hold on. Don't drop my mic. That's expensive. I just paid a lot of money for that thing. But anyway, all right, we're going to go head into the backstage pass community members. Heather will probably put the link in the Tinkering with Tech. She'll put that over there. If not, I will. It doesn't matter. Whoever does.
I will.
Come meet us over there. We'd love to have you over there. And folks, thank you so much, everybody that's watching. If you watch us in replay, if you have any questions for Susan or her business, or would like to reach out to her, please leave that in the comments. Yeah, and I have all of
Just
this
email
stuff.
me. I mean,
Yeah,
Susan at SusanFinch.com. Pretty easy.
Pretty easy. Absolutely. Please do it. I would love it. And thank you, Susan, for taking time out. And that is awesome. So I appreciate you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for everybody that showed up. That means a lot.
Yes. See y'all. Bye, folks. All right, ending broadcast.